Hi.
Harry,
Hello, Wayne.
if you want to kick us off.
Hello, Wayne. Good of you to front up at such a busy, difficult time. We'll leave a few questions, do team news a bit later, maybe. Just your reaction to the goings on the last 24 hours or so.
Yeah, well, I think from Friday evening, obviously this is what we were expecting. The administrators have been in. I've had good conversations with them about how we move forward in the near future, and them conversations were positive. And the key thing is, as I stressed to them, is communication is key. Obviously, that weren't there previously. The communication from them has to be daily, and I need to know the information of how we're moving forward, so I can obviously put that back to the players and the staff of the club.
On the sporting side, and obviously it's a massive issue for everybody involved in the club. Obviously, people are concerned about their futures, but just for now, on the playing side, to manage with all the setbacks you've had to get the team kind of mid-table-ish, and then have the rug pulled from under your feet, and now there you are, right at the bottom. How does that affect the players, do you think? Have you managed to speak to them about it?
Yeah, we are where we are, and that's not through any doings of the players. That's obviously come from Mel Morris, and that's where we are. So what's important is the players know the value of them. They know how they're performing. So after every game, I'll put the league table up and show them where they're performing, because it's important for them to know if they're playing in playoff form or mid-table form, whatever that is. It's important that they know that and they recognise that, although the league table will say different. And I said after the game on Saturday, if we stay with a minus 12 point deduction, I feel we can stay up. No team has ever done it, I believe, so that's a challenge for us. Obviously, if we get more points, that becomes a lot more difficult. And from my point of view, for the integrity of the league, do I then go and play all the young players and get us prepared for League One, which I don't think is fair for other clubs as well. So that's something I'm sure which will be getting looked at.
In terms of the players' wages, we've seen elsewhere, to try and help out players. Barcelona, for example, have had a deferral of some of their wages. Is that something that the administrators have spoken to you about?
They've been discussing possible situations which may occur, but I think what's important is no decision is rushed through now in the next 24 hours. I think they're obviously assessing everything at the football club. They're assessing the finances. They're assessing staff, of course, and them decisions will be made within the next 2 or 3 days, I believe. But it's important that we just don't rush into everything until we know exactly where we are and what we need to do.
You attended, you didn't have to, you voluntarily attended a meeting this morning, I understand, in which the supporters trust were also present. Does that underline your commitment to this club?
Yeah, listen, I've said how committed I am to this job, to this club, and not on changes. Obviously, there was a meeting this morning with the administrators and the supporters trust, which I happily wanted to go in, because I think it's important for the fans to know, from my point of view, where things are, and to understand what I keep talking about is communication. So they know they've got a direct line to me. If there's any issues or anything they're not happy with, they can get in contact with me personally, and then they can have their say as well, which again has been missing. And in terms of meetings, I've got a lot of meetings still to go throughout today. So I've got a busy day, so but that's part of the job. That's part of my job, and And I think what's important not to forget is we've got a very tough game on Saturday. So the important thing is we don't let that get put on the sideline. It's a very important game for us as a group of players. And what I will say, the players have been immense. I think the attitude, the commitment to it, it'd be easy to get caught up in everything, but their commitment has been incredible. So I think I just want to praise the players on that, because everything else we could be doing would all be in vain if the players didn't go out and perform.
Wayne, I hope you don't mind me saying that, over the last 10 months, you've shown real leadership, real maturity in dealing with all the various setbacks and scenarios. But if you'd have known now, if you'd have known 10 months ago what you know now, would you have ever taken this job?
I doubt it, if being honest. I think obviously all this information weren't brought forward at that time. But I took the job, and I'm not prepared to walk away from it. I'm here to fight for this club and for the staff who work for this club, who have worked so hard over the years. They need someone who can lead them. They need someone who understands what they're going through. And that's me. I wouldn't leave them in the lurch. I want to fight for them staff. I want to fight for the fans and try and get some pride back into this club. And we will get through this. I don't think there's any worry the club will go into liquidation. We will get through this, and I believe we'll come out of this better.
Final one from me. Famously, not very often, but now and again, top players have got involved in ownership of clubs. David Beckham, obviously the most high profile, but others as well. If the right offer came along with the right backers and the right team, would that be something you would be interested in doing?
I'm not that stupid, mate. No, listen, there's a lot of investors who are putting the name forward for this. We won't be short on buyers for the club, that's for sure.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, Wayne. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good.
Good. You were saying just now you're really confident that Derby will survive. You say they won't go into liquidation. What makes you so confident?
I think because it's a massive football club, and as I said before, the amount of people who are coming forward to invest into the club means I'm really confident that we will get through this and for the better. I think we have to take a backward step, of course. But sometimes in life, that's what you have to do. You have to take a backward step to move forward, and that would be a tough few months for us to do that. But we will come out of this as a better club with more dignity and a lot of pride.
You said earlier communication is key. How hurt were you by last Friday finding out on television about this, not being told by the owner?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think that's so important. I haven't spoke to Mel still to this day since August the 9th. On a person, Mel addressed the players and the staff as a group on Tuesday, which obviously I was in on that meeting, but on a one-on-one conversation, I still haven't had that. No phone call, no message. And I've put a lot of effort into getting these players ready to play for the club, and I just found it a little bit disrespectful, if I'm being honest. And that's why it's so important, as I'm saying to the administrators, the communication is so important for the players, for the staff here, to know the information, to know what we're looking at. And if that's good news or bad news, we have to know that so we can deal with it.
You're angry with Mel for not ringing you and apologising?
He doesn't have to apologise to me. I'm not asking for an apology. I just found it, as manager of the football club, getting questions every day from players, from staff, not being able to answer them was I was a little bit hurt by that. But listen, it is what it is. He's put a lot of money into the football club, which I know he deserves a lot of respect for that. But then there's a way of handling things and being open and honest with things, and that didn't happen. So it was a little bit disappointed.
You've reiterated today you won't walk away. I mean, nobody would blame you if you had, or if you did. So why won't you walk away? Because as you just hinted there, you could be staring at playing League One football next season.
And if that's the case, that's where we're at. I'm committed to this football club. I'm ready to fight. Listen, I grew up on a council estate in Liverpool. I know how tough things can be. I know how tough life can be. And we're in a tough moment. But if you put the work in and you put the effort in, you can get through it. And as I said on Saturday after the game, I'm committed to helping this football club get through it. I care about the players. I care about the staff here. What type of person would I be if I walk away now and go and put my feet up, go on holiday and sit in the sun for a few weeks? I don't think that's the right way to deal with it. I'm prepared to try and get this club into a stable position, first of all, and then hopefully in the future we can start looking a bit further forward.
Just a couple more. First of all, because of your upbringing, because of what you just said there, how hard has it been this week, and will it be over the next few weeks to walk past the staff you care so much about, who backroom staff, and talk about the training ground, who, as a consequence of what's going on, might have to lose their jobs?
Yeah, well, an important part is in your question there is to walk past them. You don't walk past them, you speak to them.
I didn't mean that.
No, so, but that's what I'm saying about the communication. It's important that they know. And listen, there will be staff members who lose their jobs. That's where we're at. We're in administration, and it's very sad for them people. People who've put a lot of work into this football club. It's heartbreaking, and I think the way that happens is very important. It's not. You're not working to the standards we expect. It's the position we've been left in, and as I said before, we have to take a backward step to move forward, and unfortunately, that will mean people lose their jobs. So myself, the players, the staff who remain here have to act with a lot of dignity around the place.
And my final one, for 30 years I've been begging footballers and managers not to give me the old cliche to take each game as it comes. But ahead of this game with Sheffield United, I guess that's exactly what Derby have to do now. I mean, if ever that phrase was accurate and apt, it sums up exactly where you and your team are right now in terms of trying to knock off this points deduction. Yeah,
listen, it's a great opportunity to come out of minus points on Saturday with a win. And that's what we're trying to do. The players, again, have been excellent. The preparations have been good for the game. We've got tomorrow to train and iron out any final details we want from the game. And then I've no worries whatsoever about the players' attitude or their desire to give everything in the game Saturday. It'll be a tough game, and we'll do everything we can to try and get 3 points.
Anyway, thank you so much for your honesty as always, mate.
Thank you.
Sorry, Colin, can we just cut to BBC Radio Derby and Chris Coles, please?
Yeah, of course we can. No problem.
Cheers, Luke. Thank you, Colin. Hi, Wayne. The administrators were pretty effusive, actually, in their praise of you earlier. Can you give us a flavour of what they were telling you and how that conversation went earlier?
Yeah, as I said before, the conversation was a lot more positive than I thought, if I'm being honest. And from my point of view, and obviously the administrators' point of view, the quicker we can get through this, obviously the better. And we're working. They'll have a few days now to obviously assess everything at the club, the finances at the club, the staff, and there'll be decisions made. I'd imagine midweek next week, which. They will be tough for some people, them decisions, but I understand that's what what they have to do. That's where we're at. That's where the club been left, and all I can do is keep putting the players out and preparing the players and getting them ready to give everything on match days. So I know that there is a lot of people who've been in touch with the club and looking to invest in the club. So I'm not too worried about any liquidation or anything like that. We will get through this. And as I said, the important thing is the communication from the administrators and myself, which obviously I can put back to the staff.
Rumours were swirling that you were also helping out with a few bits and pieces, things like away travel and away accommodation and things like that. Have you had to put your hand in your own pocket? Is that true?
Yeah, but listen, that's part of, not with accommodation, but that's been going on for a while now. In terms of equipment we need to film the training sessions, different various things. But listen, I take this job very seriously, and I want the best preparation I can get for which helps the players in match day.
Talking of communication, what did Mel Morris have to say to, not you personally, because clearly that line of communication is long been dead, but what did he say in his address to you and the rest of the staff?
Well, I think it was on your radio station on Sunday.
He was. So
I think if you take that interview and repeat it, exactly what he said on the radio is exactly how he addressed the players and staff.
There wasn't a great deal of contrition in that interview. Was he more apologetic with you guys?
Again, his interview was basically, his talk was basically his interview he done on the radio. So, in my opinion, it wasn't sincere. It wasn't heartfelt enough, and it wasn't done with enough honesty, in my opinion. But yeah, that's where we're at. He's obviously moved on, and we have to move on and put Mel Morris to the back of our mind and move on and look forward.
And then presumably you use that as a motivational tool for your players. I think you addressed the players soon after that as well. What was the flavour of that message?
Just being open, honest, and sincere. And it didn't take long, being honest. But after speaking to players, staff, after I spoke to them, they felt in the 5 minutes I spoke to them, they felt they got a lot more out of the 45 minutes that Mel Morris spoke to them. 45
minutes, wow. Okay. Last couple from me. It feels a little bit irrelevant talking about points deductions when we know there's still so much of the future to sort, but clearly your focus will be on that come Saturday. You told us last week 9 points doable, any more than that tricky. How do you assess that now, knowing full well it may not be just the 12, it could be more than that moving forward?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because with 12 points, which I've spoke to the players this morning on it, with 12 points, we almost need 6 points a month. And there's a couple of months where we need 7 or 8 points in that, and to get safety. So it's going to be a challenge, and I've challenged the players to make history. No team has stayed up, having taken minus 12 points. That's the challenge for the players. If it goes to 21 points, which obviously the rumours are, it will be very difficult. I have to look at it and make a decision whether I start preparing the team to play in League One next season, and that's something which I'll take very seriously, because I think for the league it'd be a sad moment if we end up in that position, because the last thing the EFL wants is for us to be preparing for next season while we're still in a competitive league.
Finally, for me, it is always about the fans, and it always will be. And you've got 2,000 backing you at Sheffield United, despite a £37 ticket. Pride Park hopefully will be packed to the rafters on Wednesday for your next home game against Reading. What can you say to the fans in a moment like this, where they're clearly very, very concerned about the future of the club? What can you say to them?
Thank you. I think first of all, the support on Saturday was incredible. I think with everything this club's going through at the moment, the support the players have had, myself has had, is amazing. It doesn't go unnoticed. I think selling out allocation of tickets on Saturday, getting 500 more, and then selling them out. It gives myself, the players, the staff here, an enormous amount of pride to know that the fans are right behind us, and the players are grateful. I know sometimes, obviously, the players don't speak all the time, but I know from conversations with the players are grateful, and the players are playing for the fans. That's clear to see, and the fans understand that, respect it, and they'll stay behind. As long as we keep putting the effort in, we won't win every game. I think everyone knows that. As long as we keep putting the effort and the work in, the fans will be right behind us. So I'm really grateful to the fans for the support they're giving everyone.
Appreciate it, Wayne. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Wayne. Just a couple from me. You've been talking a lot about the communication, so you've heard from the administrator. They were very bullish with us about the possibility of a takeover, but we've been here before under the previous owner. We've marched up this hill 3 or 4 times. What was your impression of their confidence, how likely it is?
Yeah, as I said before, I was a lot more positive coming out of the meeting with them than I was before I went in. And yeah, we have been here before, but as I said before, no one really knew what was going on with the other takeovers. I think when talks get real, and that there are investors going to come in, I think that communication, that information will be more clearer, and then hopefully we can get the right people in to help move this club forward.
If they come to you and your squad and they say, look, to get through a couple of months, we could really use everyone taking a bit of a haircut on pay, would you encourage your squad to take that and to be willing to look at that? Well,
listen, that's something which, of course, it's a possibility that could happen. But at the minute, that's not being discussed. It's the administrators are obviously assessing everything, and I'd imagine by Sunday, Monday, I'll know exactly how they want to move forward with everything. So I don't think it's fair for me to put comments out there which I don't know if that's going to be the situation or not. If that is the situation, then that's something I'll address the players with, of course, and see where we're at.
You talked about the impact of a possible extra points deduction, this other 9 that might come along, and what it might do to your decision making. Is that you just sort of saying this is how it is, or are you trying to wave at the league a little bit and saying, look, there are other consequences here if you do this to us that might not be as favourable to you as you would like?
No, listen, I'm not asking for favours from anyone. What I'm saying is, with minus 21 points, it's very likely we'll be in League One next season. So it'd be easy for me to then start playing young lads to get them the experience they need to play in League One. So that's just decisions which I have to make when I know what the outcome is. So it's all circumstances which are going through my head at the minute, which I need to. With 12 points, I think we're more than capable of getting out of it. With 21, it's almost impossible.
This has been an absolute baptism of fire for a first managerial job, and at the risk of sounding like a life coach or something like that, do you feel like you've learned stuff about yourself and about your ability to do this kind of job in these toughest circumstances?
Not really. I didn't expect it. If that's what you're asking. So it's listen. There are people who are suffering a lot more than I am in the world. It's a tough job, of course. I'll give it my full attention. I'll do everything I can to help. And I think for the players, for the staff, when we do get through this, we'll come out really shining, because we have to show our commitment, not just myself, but me coaches, all the staff at the involved in the first team and involved at the stadium, at the training ground. We all have to stick together on this, and we will get through this. We will come out, and we'll come out with a lot of pride.
Yeah, you sound proud of them.
Yeah, listen, I can control myself in terms of my decisions. But now this is where it's different. It's my job to try and put some faith and trust in everyone at this club, and I think being open and honest with them is the best way to do that. And no one's letting the club down from that point of view. And everyone's given everything they can to help us get through it, and we will get through it.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Pablo, ITV.
Hi, Wayne. Just wanted to ask, I know management is a pretty 24/7 job at the best of times, but for you personally, with all this going on, has it been difficult to kind of switch off at the end of the day when you get home? Are you still thinking about it, in your own private time?
Yeah, that's management. So you're always obviously when you get home, there's staff you speak to you and give you updates on player illness, player injuries, etc. So you're always on the job, really. It was nice actually on Tuesday night. I went to watch Dermot Kennedy with my wife in Manchester, which was a nice way to switch off for a couple of hours. It was a good concert as well, actually. So I really enjoyed it. So yeah, you have to be focused and prepared for everything that comes your way, and that's obviously how I work, and I'm ready for the challenge.
I know you said earlier that it's not your intention to leave this situation, to go on holiday and back out of this situation. It's your intention to stay and fight. Do you think that's kind of part of your DNA, that you come alive when the pressure is on?
No, listen, I've had a lot of pressure since, certainly from a professional point of view, since I was 16 and I started playing football. I can deal with pressure. That's not an issue. It's my job to help other people deal with that. With that pressure. So yeah, it's challenging, of course, but you're not going to go into a fight and back down. Even if you know you can't win that fight, you're going to go in and you're going to give everything you can to come out on top, and that's what I'm doing at this football club. As I said, I'm committed. I care about the players and staff here, and I want to do the best I can to help us get through it.
Speaking to the administrators earlier, one of the things they said was that fans can play their part in kind of improving the club's financial situation by, turning up to the games, filling the capacity, but also spending as much as they can on shirts and merchandise. I just wanted to get your opinion on whether you thought that was a fair thing to ask of fans, given that it's not them that's caused this mess.
Listen, from my point of view, is we need the fans at the stadium to support the players to help us get results. And the fans have been incredible at that, and that's all I can ask from the fans, is for them to support the team, be behind us the way they have been, and they've been excellent at that. Any other decisions is as long as the fans are there supporting us. From my point of view and the players' point of view, that's all we need. I'm not asking fans to spend more money, because they spend a lot of money coming to games and coming to away games. And we just appreciate the fact that they're supporting us.
And just lastly, Wayne, do you think all of this do you think you'll come out of this a better manager?
I don't know. I hope so. Management is managing a team in the championship is difficult enough. Then having obviously everything else put on top of that makes it a lot more difficult. But it'd be nice the day when I can come into work and focus on the team, getting them ready, and then chill out a little bit. I haven't had that yet since I've been at Derby as manager. So I'm looking forward to that in the future when we do get through this, we do get sorted, and then coming into work and relaxing a little bit.
Thanks, Wayne.
Jim, do you want to go now?
Hi, Wayne. Wayne, just two quick questions for me. Wayne, do you and your players look at the table and you see if you had the points that you would be 12th in the table now. Is that the way you're going to look at it going forward?
Yeah, I think, listen, we have to be realistic. Where we're at the minute, we're bottom of the league, so we know that. But I think it's important for the players to know how they're performing. So I will put the league table up with and without the points deduction on, so they can see where we would be, and they can get the recognition for where we would be, or the criticism of where we would be without the points deduction, and then obviously see where we're at with the points deduction, and figure out how many, what points we need to obviously get out of it.
And Wayne, I know it's a stressful time for you in the world of football, but I'll take you away from the world of football at the moment. I read somewhere that you're a massive Only Fools and Horses fan. I suppose the news this week about John Chalice Boise's passing. What are your sorts of favourite Boise moment from Only Fools and Horses?
I think, first of all, condolences to his family. I think very sad news, and I was actually watching Only Fools and Horses last night, if I'm being honest. So yeah, there's a lot of moments in there. I think when Marlene got a breast implant, and Del Boy Wan Boise Up was one of the best moments for me.
No problem, Wayne. Take care.
If we just move into the written, Steve, do you want to kick that off?